What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. So just yesterday, NBA analyst Rick Bucher speaks on the show that comes on the Fox channel. It's called Speak for Yourself. Marcellus Wiley and Emmanuel Acho. And, he gives his take on the Lakers and he gives his take on the whole Kyrie Irving situation. And, first off, I definitely want to say that I can see his point. I can definitely see where he's coming from. But at the same time, it's definitely, a lot of questions there. It's definitely a lot of, it's going to be a lot of back and forth with that specifically. And the topic that he goes into and speaks on, if you want to go back and watch that video, you can. But he actually speaks on the topic of saying that the Lakers have zero chance of winning a championship if they acquire Kyrie Irving. And, me, I'm one of those people where, in regards to Kyrie, I respect Kyrie's talent. I respect the fact that Kyrie is a great player. No doubt about that. Definitely a box office type player. But I'm also one of the ones that's under the mindset where I don't think that it would be shocking if the Lakers, let's just hypothetically say the Lakers acquired Kyrie already. I'm just saying it wouldn't be shocking to me if the Lakers won the championship with Kyrie Irving, but at the same time, it wouldn't shock me if they didn't, because Kyrie is definitely the type of player who can help get you over the hump. I mean, in regards to, everything he can do. I mean, he's not a defensive stopper or anything like that, but I will say he can play with the best of them. He is a top player in the NBA. He's a top 10 player in most people's minds. I mean, Kyrie can drop 40, 50 any game. It could be game 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3 in a 7-game series. I mean, he could drop it, during the season. He's just a magnificent player. So, and him and LeBron has won a championship before. So when you've done it before, you always can do it again. That's how I look at things. If you've done it once, you can always do it another time. It can always happen again. It's going to be harder probably to, repeat it or something like that, but it can always be done again. So that's the reason why I said, I don't want to rule out the fact that the Lakers couldn't win a championship with Kyrie. I just think it would be awfully difficult for them to do that, not knowing what type of player he's going to be, not knowing what they're getting out of the guy, not knowing that whether he's going to be 100% all in, in on the situation. Like, he's not going to leave a situation. He's going to, sacrifice for the team and all those type things. If you're getting all that out of Kyrie, then I think your chances of doing a lot of things is definitely a lot greater. Being a better team, making the playoffs, a very slight possibility of possibly winning a championship. I don't think it's going to happen in the first year if he comes there, but I mean, there is a chance of him winning a championship if you get Kyrie, if he's all in, if he's the player, if he's the player that you want him to be, which is about the team and all about trying to win and sacrifice and all those type things. Yeah, I think you can get a lot out of Kyrie. I think the team could be, a whole lot better, going forward if they had that type of Kyrie, if that's who they're going to acquire. But if they don't acquire somebody like that, if that's the opposite of what they acquire or getting from Kyrie, if they do acquire him, then you might have a problem for a problem. You get rid of Russell Westbrook for him, and it might be a worse situation because, Russ played almost damn near every game last year. I mean, he doesn't miss games like talking about it. So his availability is high. And, Shaq has said it. Many other people have said it. Your best ability is is availability. If you're available, that's your best talent because you're there, you're present, you're there to at least, see the team, help the team as much as you can. If you're not there and whatever the situation may be, that's hurting the team chances of moving forward or getting to that next level. So, trading Kyrie for Russ, I mean, it can be, it can be a gift or a curse, definitely. In most people's eyes, in my eyes, I look at it more as a curse because I feel like I said, I feel like Kyrie is better for LeBron James specifically, But at this point in time, LeBron James is not the player he once was either. I mean, a lot of people saw him put up a lot of points last year and, score a lot of points and, average all them points per game and play at that level. But they weren't playing for anything, though. They weren't playing for, winning purposes. You know what I'm saying? They weren't playing for like a championship. They weren't playing to get to the playoffs. They were just playing a lot of meaningless games because, I'd say mid-season last year or a little bit past mid-season, people were writing them off saying they weren't even going to make the playoffs. And this was like a little bit after the All-Star break. So it's like, it's like all the numbers he put up last year, they're empty calories because they were for meaningless games that wasn't going to get them anywhere. They were like, 14, 15, 10, 15 games under 500 at one point. I mean, that's not, that's when they got like 5 or 6 games under 500, I knew it was shaky for them to make the playoffs. I knew it was then because you've never seen a Lakers team, or I'm not gonna say you haven't, but you haven't seen a Lakers team with that much talent on it be that piss poor. I mean, not the last time I can remember. I mean, I can remember like, Kobe, Dwight Howard, and Steve Nash. But, Steve Nash was like, he wasn't even close to the player he was on Phoenix. I mean, that was just basically his last days of, collecting NBA paychecks, basically. And Dwight Howard just didn't fit at all. And Kobe and Dwight just didn't really, get along that well, but at the same time, it doesn't matter. Like when you look at this team got 3 top 75 players of all time. Apparently that team didn't, because Dwight Howard wasn't a top 75. He's not a top 75 player. I don't know how he's not a top 75 player, but he's not a top 75 player. This team has 3 top 75 players currently playing, and one of them, and Anthony Davis, is like in his late 20s, early 30s. Russ is in his mid to early to mid 30s, and LeBron is like in his late 30s. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, with that type of talent on the floor and the way LeBron can still put up points, whether they're empty calorie points or not, they should have been a lot better, but they weren't. So it's nothing you could do about that. And like I said before, adding Kyrie could be a gift for the Lakers because they can bring, new scenery, new, toys to play with, or whatever you want to look at. He's a new toy to play with, whatever you want to talk about, however you want to categorize that. But at the same time, it doesn't matter, because what comes with Kyrie sometimes does exactly what it's doing in Brooklyn. I mean, can't the Lakers see what he's done to the Brooklyn Nets? I mean, hell, can't you see what he done to the Boston Celtics? The Boston Celtics should have been to a finals way before now, but Kyrie set them back a few years, I thought. I mean, because they were anticipating on him being the guy, and while Jason Tatum was growing as he was supposed to do, Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart at the time, they had Marcus Morris, I believe, and they had Al Horford at the time. You see what I'm saying? And they were supposed to be the big bad team in the East, and they weren't that, because Kyrie was just disruptive in the locker room once again, playing when he wanted to, saying all the wrong things to the media, rubbing people the wrong way in the locker room, not acting like he was all in for the team. It was another situation where he was all about himself, and he came off like, it's all about him instead of team trying to win championships. You see what I'm saying? So, and it's like every time Kyrie runs a team, they always go into ground. And every time he's a part of a team, it always falters. It never stays up. It never stays anything. It's just Kyrie is always a problem everywhere he goes. And I just think that the Lakers have enough problems, and I don't really feel like they need to, take another problem in like him and hope for the best. I mean, I think you need to try to go after players that you feel a little bit more confident about in regards to wanting to help this team win, because the Lakers are a winning type organization. That's what they're always going to be looked at, just like the Celtics. The Celtics are always going to be looked at as a winning type organization because of the pieces they have and the championships they've had, that they've won, and the pieces they've had even throughout history. You know what I'm saying? Bill Russell, Larry Bird, you can speak from way back then all the way to now, from them to Paul Pierce to KG to, whatever. I mean, they've always been a winning type franchise. You see what I'm saying? And even now, they made to the NBA Finals with the 2 young boys and JT and JB. You see what I'm saying? So even now, they're a winning type organization. Even these days, you can see them winning a championship with the team that they have. So, I mean, this is my point. Kyrie has ruined ruined situations everywhere he's went, no matter how good the situation was, how much talent was on there, or how much projected they were to win it. Kyrie definitely, came with, his antics, and it always breaks a team in half, because Kyrie is just that type of dude. And I don't know if he does it intentionally. I don't know if he gets a kick out of it, but that's just what comes with him. And I just think the Lakers they'll be better off kind of brushing this one off and kind of, going with what they have. I don't know if they should trade Russell Westbrook for Kyrie Irving, because I don't really see how much better it's going to make the team. I mean, it could make them a little bit better, as I said, because Kyrie is more of a fit for LeBron, because he can step out and shoot. He is a 50, 40, 90 guy. He has the capability of being that, 50% from the field, 40% from three, and he can shoot about 90% from the free throw line. So, I mean, he's definitely the type of shooter, floor spacer that LeBron would love to have, because it opens up more lanes, driving lanes for him when he decides to actually drive in and, get to the basket and draw a foul and make the layup and, go to the line for the and one. So it works better with him because he spaces the floor better. He stretches the floor a lot better than Russell Westbrook, because Russell Westbrook just can't shoot. So it really it's pointless to have Russ on the floor at times with LeBron, because the fit really isn't there. But I mean, hey, LeBron took the challenge. So, I mean, if you're going to take the challenge, then, don't let one season dictate the whole outcome. If LeBron really didn't think he couldn't win with Russell Westbrook, he would have never he would have never acquired him, basically, because LeBron is basically running the team. That's the reason why you're hearing all this stuff about Jeannie Buss coming out about Kobe Bryant and how he put team first and all that stuff. God rest Kobe's soul and everything. And that's the reason why, you saw that, or you heard that tweet come out with Jeannie Buss about that, because she remembered the days of, a superstar, all about, wanting to win rather than all about individual, accolades or getting certain people that he wants and going against the organization's thought process. It's all about team. Everybody has to work as a team. The organization, in the front office, the guys, in the locker room, guys putting on jerseys, the coaches, assistant coaches, executives, everybody has to work as a team in that whole unit for it to be successful. And that's just the way it goes. So, and I feel like, Jeannie Buss was just more or less giving the message that, or behind closed doors, she's basically trying to say under her breath that, LeBron is more or less making these decisions for him and what he thinks. And this is not what's best for the team. Because, I mean, they tried the Russell Westbrook experiment. That's not working. Now they're going after Kyrie because of LeBron's approval and possibly, him and Kyrie talking and all this other stuff, speaking outside of basketball, trying to form a reunion and all this stuff. It's like, damn, what I'm saying? As great as LeBron James is, I mean, sometimes it looks like, damn, do you need every freaking talented player in the NBA on your team so you can win championships? I mean, that's what it's starting to look like. I mean, damn, you can get, getting another star caliber type player. You got 3 top 75 players on your team. Make it work with what you have. If you're going to let go of one of those top 75 players, then get somebody in there who's not disruptive, who doesn't bring drama, because even though Russell Westbrook doesn't really try to at times, even though at times he does, there are times he doesn't try to be a locker room distraction. It just kind of comes with Russ because of his demeanor and his personality, how he dresses, how he carries himself, how he talks, how he comes off and everything like that. He comes off as a distraction because Russell Westbrook is the type to like to play basketball and go home and be a dad and be who he wants to be. That's who he is. And the Lakers, LA, wants him to be more than that. They want him to be dedicated, superficially dedicated to the team and, sacrificing and all those things. That's what Lakers fans, Lakers organization, that's what they expect out of their players. And Russ is really not that type player. He'll give you all he's got when he's on the floor, but he's not going to take the extra initiative after the game to do this, that, say all the right things and do all these. Russ is just going to be Russ. You see what I'm saying? That's just the way it is. And like I said, you have enough antics and drama that come with him. So why bring Kyrie to the mix, who's going to bring more drama, more antics, and say more of the wrong things to the media and come off as a jerk, as he's always pretty much does to the media and a lot of other people, even a lot of his teammates. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, why add fuel to the fire to me? And that's what I'm saying. That's the only thing I have with Kyrie. He can really make their team worse in regards to the expectations would be higher if Kyrie comes. If Kyrie comes to the Lakers, they're going to be talking about championship. like the first year. I mean, no doubt about it. They're not going to talk the way they did about Russell Westbrook. Oh, I don't think he's a fit, this and that, but the Lakers can still find a way to get it together. If Kyrie comes, they're going to be like, oh, he's a fit. Him and LeBron won a championship before. They're going to win another one this year. You see them? That's just a notion. So the expectations are going to be higher with Kyrie, but the results might be lower, possibly, or the results might not be as good as people think they're going to be if he gets acquired by the team. So, I mean, like I said, I personally, I don't really think him or Russell Westbrook is good for the team, but honestly, I would just stick with what I have if I were the Lakers and wait till All-Star break and see what else is out there, maybe even the next season, see what else is out there and go at it that way, because I don't know if Kyrie is really going to bring magic or anything like that to the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he's going to bring that type of, energy to the Lakers that they would hope, simply because it's a new scenery, new place, and he's, with somebody he used to play with before in LeBron James. But I mean, like I said, you just can't trust Kyrie. So, if I were them, I definitely would, look into that twice. And, in regards to, Rick Bucher himself, and the comments that he made, just to, put some icing on that, really Rick Bucher makes a good point. You can't trust Kyrie, and trusting Kyrie, you're letting your organization go in one direction, which is down. Because honestly, look at the last 2 or 3 organizations he's been with. I mean, when he was with Cleveland, he made a rift there, with him and LeBron James, and they still ended up winning the championship barely. They were down 3-1. It took everything they had, and some coaching adjustments by Ty Lue, of course, and a lot of scoring from LeBron and Kyrie, which I don't know if LeBron can do those same things he used to or once could. So that's another thing that comes into play about winning a championship. How much energy will LeBron James have, first round, second round, third round, finals of the playoffs? You see what I'm saying? How much energy will he have? He hasn't had to play that long in a long time. So it's like, he's not the LeBron he once was, where he was Iron Man. He's not that now. So, a lot plays into it. So I'm not going to give the Lakers a 0 chance, but I do agree in regards to what Rick Bucher said in regards to Kyrie and how he can, disrupt the place more than actually help it. You see what I'm saying? And, with Kyrie's history, it definitely doesn't look good, and it definitely is a wonder, what they would get out of him, or, what they would get out of him if they acquired him. So I think the Lakers definitely better be careful with this trade. They definitely better think about it. And I feel like Jeannie Buss and the rest of the main office, doesn't want to go through with it. I feel like they don't, by some of the tweets by Jeannie Buss and, hearing some other sources from, Phil Jackson and stuff like that. I feel like they really don't want to get Kyrie. I feel like it's all LeBron pushing that. And this last situation with LeBron, he pushed for Russell Westbrook. That didn't work out. And if he pushed for Kyrie, and if that doesn't work out, then it's like, damn, only person you could blame is LeBron. You see what I'm saying? Even though he is the best player on the team, and he's the only bright spot they really have. You see what I'm saying? So I just want to see how it all plays out. At this point, I feel like it's almost a done deal with Kyrie. With some of the sources I've read today, it's almost a done deal that he's going to be a Laker. They just don't know exactly what the stipulations are and all that stuff. And, certain things, certain conditions have to play into it from what I'm reading. So, but they from the sources I've read, it's almost a done deal. So we'll see if it actually comes to life, and, if that actually plays out that way. But, we'll see what happens. But like I said, Rick Bucher, a lot of people are going to dispute his comments. A lot of people are on his side with those comments. So, I mean, it's definitely going to, cause some. So you're definitely going to hear more about that. You see what I'm saying? So going forward, especially if Kyrie goes to the Lakers. So we'll just wait and see and anticipate how it all plays out, and see if Kyrie gets there first. And then we can kind of analyze and go from there, their chances and what they'll look like going forward into next season. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check out my other videos if you haven't. And hey, Kylie out.